Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Second part, better my face, better the flowers than my face, I meant to say. Look at these gorgeous ones, and look at these beautiful ones that I love, yellow. Just finished shopping, and I gotta present that graffiti there as it is nice. Gotta salute the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the electricians, and the plumbers. Train conductors. Oh, I was going for it. Gonna stop, see how my mind works. Always mathematics, trajectory, distance, velocities, ratios, and always for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, and the doctors, and the plumbers, and the electricians, and those who are involved in the production, distribution of food, and all those who are now, of course, on the go, and in the left, and in the right, and in the middle, and of course, that's just something which we have to be counterbalance about, and that counterbalance is always integral to the manifestation of saluting, sending some love to our firefighters, and we gotta, in our empire, let it rise or let it be. We gotta credit a little bit of that. Look at these beautiful flowers. We gotta credit them a million. Aren't they just super gorgeous? These are just amazing. Flaming orange flowers. These are also cute, kind of cute and nice there, you know. Those are also nice, and in our empire, you know, we're gonna credit a million to all our fallen in the service. Oh, it is our fake though, but it's colorful. In the service, where the plumbers and public workers pick up the garbage, the recycling, firefighters, security forces, we're gonna implement across the 63 1 million in today's monetary value. Automatic financial support if they fall into doing service, doing duty, whether firefighters, whether police, men and women, FBI, RCMP, we're gonna fuse it. Citoyen into the Imperial Security Integrated Service. You can get acquainted with my past theories, protocols. I was just thinking because I saw the twins, and those are the twins in the relationship, of course, of the firefighters as they rock and roll it, and we're gonna credit them some $1 million to their closest families, children, siblings, brothers, sisters, husbands and wives. So children, husbands and wives, should I go for it? I guess 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 seconds is what I needed. So that's what we're going to accord. I discussed it in the past. This is part of my more academic intellectual theories, proponencies, of course, which are in concordia to my predictions from 2019. As you know, I'm not just an independent, androgynous, pansexual, Aspiesque artist and athlete and philosopher, but an independent geopolitical philosopher, theorist, strategist who loves these little yellow flowers. Look at these gorgeous. Aren't they just super nice? This is a nice bouquet here. I'm glad, thank you workers, put these flowers here. The pink ones are also good in the counterbalances of existing now, but of course all that is the relationship, of course, of existing, and in that faculty I gotta also thank my anonymous friend. If I make $1 million, I'm gonna give her half, $1 billion, gonna give her half, and this has been a heaven sent, a supportive and practical guide. This has been a heaven sent, a supportive and practical guide, but otherwise, besides my financial stress, you know, I am now good and okay, and we gotta rock and roll it, and always for the 10, the 50, and the 3, always for all those who are involved in the production, distribution of food, and always, of course, for those who are in the contingency, of course, of having the North American Collective's administrative affairs in a public-private partnership restructuring based on my ideas, theories, and protocols, but I'm marching back to my headquarters, my dragon's lair, and got everything I needed to get. A bit stressed, but financially stressed, you know, that has been my big stress as it is now, and I always had a little bit of that Rock&Roll for the butchers, bakers, nurses, and doctors, and electricians, and the plumbers, and the welders, the train conductors, the train conductors, and all those electricians, and the firefighters. And look at this. These are nice yellow. Just nice, eh? Bright yellow. Thank you, public workers. Please don't throw trash here on garbage, eh? Don't throw trash and garbage there. But those are public gardens which we gotta cherish. We gotta love. And now, because on the first video I was on the other side, now I'm gonna go on the complete other side to look at those flowers on the left. Well, when I was on that side, it was to my left. Now that I'm going the other direction, this is on my right, because now I'm heading west. Before I was heading east. So when I was heading that way, east, the flowers here were to my left. Now that I'm going west, the flowers are to my right. Amazing, eh? And there's science and physics in that, and there's always mathematics, eh? This is what I wanted to see here. This is what I wanted to see right here. This is what I wanted to see in the faculty, of course, of being, and the strategy, of course, of implementing our imperial garden protocols. Imperial garden protocols, which have, of course, to be facultatively, of course, administratively in the relationships of existence. But it's always the flowers which are yellow, which I love a lot. Yellow flowers I really love a lot, but I love these type of flowers as well, all types of flowers, but yellow ones, although red is my favorite color, Red, R-E-D, my favorite color, but these ones are also quite cute. This is actually a yellow and a beautiful, hey, it's kind of has a little, it's bicolor basically, eh? It's bicolor, and it'll be like that, and it's always something which I gotta be on the left and on the right and in the middle, of course, to be in the facultative affairs, and those, of course, domains which are, of course, to be correlated in that administrative affairs. But of course, the flowers which are around about, they're always in a way, shape, or form that are different from each other. Some are smaller, some are bigger. Even the small ones are really nice, like those ones, the tiny ones there. They're also cute. They have their cuteness, their ruggedness, their realness, their expression. Because when I see flowers, they got that expression. For me, at least, they have an expression, which of course has to be in the expression, of course, of the faculty of the administration, but what I meant to say in the public, the administration of the city is deciding which flowers to put in the public gardens all around us. So there's an administrative bureaucratic aspect, but look at these. Hey? They look like trumpets. Trumpets up the flower, trumpets, sing me a song for the sun. Heat day, heat wave. Gotta say it for you say. I kind of smell from afar. Gorgeous. Love the flowers on the way, and yeah, it's something that I really enjoy. Montreal, Hawk Island, and I'm different. I will always be different. I will always have. Asperger's is not a disease, not an illness. It's not something that I'm ashamed of. It's something that took me years and years and years to accept and see how my brain now works. I hear the helicopter and I'm trying to calculate some mathematics because I don't see it. And when I say, of course, in my videos that there's math everywhere, do you see it? You have to do not see it. I have to explain what I mean, because there's always some sort of mathematics going on in my brain. Percentages, calculations, ratios, velocities, and all these types of calculations which are always ongoing in my brain. And of course, we have special interests, and those special interests, well, they differ, right? Special interests my special interest is geopolitics, and here you gotta watch the branch, especially in the first video I discussed the other branch, but see, this one also is about to fall here. See, this branch fell from above, it's standing on nothing there. And this one also, there's branches here that fall, so that's why we need the Dragon Army, because if the velocity of the wind picks up and the speed and the direction makes it right, that it could fall on somebody. And this is a high traffic area, so these trees here have to be, you need a ladder. See that one? Another proof. And just in the first video you can see that there's a big one over there, but that one there, see, for example, that one, See that branch? That branch? There's the proof. That branch cracked from above. Right, that branch cracked from above. This is from experience of living in Montreal, and especially as I go on the mountain for more than 11, 12 years. That's my second home. Every week I go several times, sometimes every day almost, but every other day, if not at least a few times a week. But see that branch there fell from above and it's stuck on the other branches. So if it's windy and the wind is right, that can fall on somebody. See, it's just standing on nothing there. So we have branches that are ready to fall, that have already fallen from higher up on the tree. They fall from higher up on the tree and they get down further and further. So when you have branches like that, they can fall. And so when of course the velocity can change, and of course because of the velocity that can change and fluctuate, there's always a risk. So that risk is ever, of course, contingent to relate, of course, to the administrative affair. So that relationship, of course, is something which we got to get on the dictums. See, for example, these branches can fall. And of course, the branches can fall right now. So if it's windy, right? So that's just the reality of living in Montreal, see? Because thank God is we have the trees, obviously, because it's part of the flora and the fauna. But of course, it's something which we have, of course, now to be. So just be prudent, especially on a windy day. The windier it is, the more you're at risk. The windier it gets. Obviously, the wind's direction is a factor as well. Right, because velocity, when I say velocity, you have to include speed and direction. But there's also the types of trees, right? This one, I don't know. How is it compared to the other trees there in terms of the risk, right? Some trees, their branches crack easier. Some trees, the branches crack easier. Let's see if that one, is that a fallen branch? And this is from experience because it almost fell on me a few years ago. See? That's why we need a dragonomy, and this is a high volume area. See that branch? That branch is cracked. See there, that's the proof. See, that's a cracked branch right there. See? Yeah, that's a cracked branch. Yeah, that one's about to fall. So depending on the wind, see that one also. Yeah, so they can fall on people, eh? If it falls sometimes. Often there's small ones there, but sometimes you see the bigger ones. See that one's standing on nothing. See? This branch here. There's the proof. See this branch? That branch fell from above. It's dangling. So see how it's dangling there? So that branch fell from above, and if the wind's direction, it can swoop it, and it can fall on somebody. So that's why we need to drag down. That one you need a ladder for that one. So there's always a risk. Eh? Yeah, there's always a risk. That one you need a ladder. I can't get to it. You need a ladder. That's why we need a dragonomy for SSSD, security service and surveillance and defense. But that one fell from above, and it was dangling. That one probably minimal damage, but it could send. But depends if it falls on a child with a wind velocity. That means that you could send somebody to the ER. Unfortunately, our ERs are already, of course, full. So for years I've been discussing this, and you see it on my marches. Sometimes there's huge branches on the floor, sometimes on the mountain. I toss them over, right? It depends on the trees. There's different trees with different branches, and they're not that healthy, some of them. So that's why the fallen branches, you see them often. I mean, I'm grateful for the trees, but this has to be a more regular from the cities. More powerful storms are, at least from my recent memory, 11, 12 years. But it happens. So, and there's also mathematical science to that, because there's the different types of trees. Now for that, you need somebody who's more in botany. See that branch also? See? Look at that branch. That's the proof again. That one is cracked there, see? You see it? See, it's cracked. See there? So that, it cracked from above, it fell there, and it's stuck now on other branches. So what it takes is the wind to change direction, and then it falls, right? And then it falls. The wind to change direction, and then it falls, right? So that's just what it is with that rock and roll. And that's all we got, of course, for the relationship, of course, to be in the faculty of the gardening, and always always gotta interject, always gotta get that spiel and gotta get, of course, the relationship which we have, and it's always a relationship which exists for the left and for the right and for the middle, and of course always integrally in that relationship which exists now, but it's always the faculty, of course, of the existence which we are now. So it's always something which we gotta get that correlation about, and that's where we coexist in that domain, and that domain is always here and there, and always in the faculty of our prudence in the public. So without being too intellectual academic, just be careful if you're ever in Montreal, tourist or local, just be aware of the environment and the meteorological conditions, the meteorological conditions which are involved, which are present at the moment, So of course that is their presence at the moment, and of course that is something what we have now. It's something which we correlate. But as we move forward, we need to drag an army integrally. See, this is that one is about to crack. So there's always mathematics in my brain going on. For example, you look at this car. This car, every second until its destination, of course, if it's in motion, cars that are in motion are always adding distance to their mileage. So now Sunday, there's not that many cars in circulation, but across all Canada and the United States, all the cars that are now in motion at that macro level, every other second there could be kilometers added, because once you get to 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, just like 1,000 milliliters is a liter. So that's, of course, the distance and weight. Just like 1,000 kilos is a ton. 1,000 meters is a kilometer. And knowing that 95% of cars run on gas, they're always also consuming gas. So there's always a minus and a plus to all the cars in motion. So the plus is the distance that they add to their mileage. And once there's 1,000 meters, that gets converted into 1 kilometer, right? So, and they're also consuming gas or electricity. So there's always a minus from the gas tank, even at the milliliter level. Milliliters, 1,000 milliliters, of course, is 1 liter. So this car will now add, until it gets to the other side there, it will add 44 meters to that stop sign, right? It will add another 100 something. Then once it gets to 1,000, that is 1 km, kilometer, kilo from the word 1,000 from the Greek, right? Still have the Greco-Roman system. Of course, that is the relation, all these cars. So from the macro level to the micro level, that is, of course, from the micro level to the macro level, that is always the satisfaction of the math. That's always all around us. So basically, of course, all the mathematics is all around us, as it's explicitly, of course, stated that this car will add 2-3 meters, and this car will add another 2-3 meters once it's in motion. Once it is in motion. So once it is in motion, it will always add a certain meters and mileage. Right? It'll always add a certain meters and a certain mileage. But once it stops, that will be accounted, and then the accounting plus will continue after it's paused. For example, there at the stop line. That's the stop at the red light, obviously. But after, until it reaches its destination, then it will be, once it's reached its destination, then it will furthermore be an addition, because now it's not in motion. Those two cars are not in motion. This car, until it gets there, it will add 15 maybe meters. This car will add 10, 13.4 meters. But now the green light is on, so they're continuing to add. There's always, all the cars in motion are adding meters and yards at the beginning. They're not adding kilometers at the beginning. You have to add them. And once we add the meters once it gets to 1,000 meters, then that is 1 kilometer, right? And that is 1 kilometer. But if it's not, so there's math everywhere. Do you see it now? For example, these cars so now they're adding 5 meters, 10 meters, 6 meters, 7, 8, 9 meters, whatever the case may be, until they reach its destination. But then it's not only a plus, there's also a minus. They're also consuming gas or electricity. Consuming gas or electricity because, of course, there's the gas. Or but 5% it could be electric. It could be electric or it could be gas. So of course, all of them in motion will consume a certain amount. Will consume a certain amount because this is just a segment here. Of course, the segment can be expanded because we have so many cities. So this is not just a location. It's just multiple locations which exist. Multiple locations which exist throughout Canada. Please don't leave that there. It's just. You're welcome. You're welcome. She said thank you. She was nice because I just wanted to pause and get out of the way for my auntie to pass with the bicycle because I have the backpack. I have goodies. I have goodies in the backpack. So I said it's better for me to get out of the way, and I saw that being left here, and auntie reached safely her destination, and my safety, her safety, my neurodivergence, So mathematics is ever present. But of course, it's always an addition or a subtraction. Even myself, I'm adding mileage. I'm adding kilometers. Well, I'm adding first, I would have added a few kilometers for today's Sunday Sabbath march to go shopping and come back. It will be a certain amount of kilometers. It will be a certain amount of kilometers where we are now. So of course, the mileage that's added for me will be yards, or a meter, a second meter, a third meter, 3.3 meters. It's good to have a job. Good for you. I guess you're paid by the hour. I had many jobs. Well, Aspiesque is misunderstood, eh? Good to have a job, guys. People, brothers and sisters, and my only stress now is financial, and I know you're paid by the hour, but still it's good. City workers start off well enough pay, so you can afford to pay your rent and buy cigarettes. I don't smoke myself. Last cigarette for me was 2017, and I always kind of find these little machines genius. Geniuses build these machines, and we need them for the traffic, for the lights. And what I was saying earlier. See, there's the mega proof. Those are so big and so dangerous, so thick that it can send people to the ER, eh? To the ER. So they can send people to the ER. So here they're doing the reparation. See, here I gotta wait. It's good to have a job, eh? I'm gonna go around them. So it's good to have a job. Good to be employed, And these beautiful flowers are nice here. I'm gonna just go straight over there. I don't have to keep the same route every time, I guess. I could show these off here now, and these are beautiful there where we have, and that's always the dimension, eh? It's good to have a job. Good to have a job, And good to do the lines as well, because we need the mass public restoration, as I discussed it in my hundreds and thousands of videos in my marches. And look at that beautiful color, yellow flowers there as they go. But as I discussed it in many of my videos, and of course all that, as the Canadian flag goes in the absence of the king. The king is absent, I always say. I show my flag on me. Supposedly I got this tatted up in 2003. 2003, yeah, 23 years ago when I graduated high school. I did graduate high school. Many Aspiesque people are on the spectrum like myself. Unfortunately, there's a high dropout rate. Very high dropout rate, eh? 7 times, 8, 9 times higher than neurotypicals, which you are the 99% with which we have to build bridges. It's very high. Even depression and suicidal rates are way higher. Iran, me and geopolitics, eh? I like this. I like them all, but I have so many at home. What do I do? Okay, I'm gonna check the publication date. But because I have so many, but since geopolitics is my special interest. Oh, in 1979. Well, that's when it was made and printed in Great Britain. Okay, it's when revolution, but right after the revolution, 11th of February 1979, the Iranian regime declared. 11th of February 1979, the Iranian regime declared their, of course, in 1979, the 11th of February, they declared their successful revolution. There's the flag again. So, gotta salute the construction workers, bakers, butchers, nurses, doctors, electricians, the plumbers, the welders, train conductors, firefighters, and flora, fauna. Gotta work together. And financially stressed, but joyous. Got a bottle of wine and got cold cuts, got cheese, and got some club soda. I don't have many. I have Hava. For less than $4 Hava, 3 pieces of chocolate Hava. So that's gonna be that special on the budget. That's gonna be that special on the budget. You gotta watch it here because they pass from the side. Eh? Gotta be watching it here. They pass from the side, so gotta always be on the go. Because sometimes they come fast, eh? Sometimes they come fast. I gotta get my security, safety, and it's hot, so we gotta let them pass. But this is a dangerous kind of corner here. There's a dangerous type of corner. We're gonna get for the left and for the right, and now we got a window of opportunity. I gotta be watching it for my fellow citizens. Safety and security, my safety and security, yours, and in harmony, But yeah, besides financial stress, I'm pretty good and paid my rent, paid my electricity bill, paid my rent, got food, got coffee, and gotta get it for those butchers, bakers, nurses, and doctors, electricians, and beautiful flowers. So yeah, I have too many books now. Actually, okay, I have to get rid of some books now. Because if I keep piling them up, then I'm not gonna. I have a small space, but I'm grateful where I live now. Way better than where I lived, and that is the domain which we have, of course, now, and that is the relationship, of course, which exists, and of course, because the relationship, of course, which exists, is of course something which we correlate ourselves with. So that is just another beautiful garden here which we have. This is gorgeous. Whoever did that, that's really nice. Really nice, eh? So that's where we are now, and that's where we correlate in the relationship. Let's see. Oh yeah, somebody's gonna have some food. I'm not gonna take now, but somebody's gonna have some food. Thank you for the donation, eh? That's not for me to take today. Please don't block here. This is people gonna take their food, but somebody's gonna have some spaghettis, eh? Some spaghettis, and that's all we got, and that's how we go, and that's how we counterbalance be, and of course all those administrative affairs which exist in the correlation where we got now to be coefficient about it. So is the domain, which is beautiful flowers there. Yeah, so I'm pretty joyous, happy. It's just that I'm really financially stressed, and this morning I was listening to some ASMR. So thank you to those who do that ASMR for massages, because I can't afford a massage therapy session right now. That would be a great enhancement, If you're 18, you gotta be for that play. If you're 18, you're a man, you're a woman, you're a man, you're black, you're white. I could always use. Otherwise, I don't need, what for? I don't need. My work is important, eh? The work which I do is important, and I'm an androgynous pansexual artist and athlete, and Aspiesque. I have Asperger's. I greatly improve in my social skills, and it's not easy. I'm part of this small, tiny minority of a community, Aspiesque. There's not that many Aspiesque in the world. There's really, really not a lot of Aspiesque, and that is just what we have now to be together in the relationship, of course. But other than that, I'm pretty joyous. Just really financial stress, but gotta be grateful for yesterday. I ordered some pizza. It wasn't that good, but this is beautiful, eh? Look at that. Stars at the show, flowers yellow as I go. Stars at the show, flowers as I go. Stars at the show, yellow as I go. Look at that. Isn't that really super nice? I wish I could buy my anonymous friend a house, Wish I could buy her a house. If I make $1 million a bit in the tree, I'm gonna give her half. And here I gotta watch some branches. See some branches there? They cracked, and this one sheds a lot. Particularly, I know it for a fact. You see in one of my videos that fallen branches from above, two powerful twins. Well, they weren't the biggest twins, but I had to toss them over, and once I had to pull it out because it was almost gonna come and fall, and almost gonna get to fall on somebody there. So because it was hanging on the thread, it was falling from above on that left and the right. And if the wind's velocity would have speeded up, on the wind's velocity, otherwise in a direction which would have been concordant with the wind's power increasing, it would have fallen on somebody on the sidewalk. So always gotta be aware of that here in Montreal, especially on the mountain. And in 3, 2, 1, I love this garden. This one is again amazing. Plus those yellow flowers. Red already is my favorite color. But when it comes to flowers, I just go crazy for yellow flowers like that. Look at those. Aren't they just amazing? Stars at a show. Stars at a show. Stars at a show. Just wanted to let you know you are the star of the show. Stars. Because all of them are so beautiful. And those make me kind of think about wafers and ice cream. Those ones there. They look like ice cream-esque, eh? They're so beautiful. Hey, aren't they just the most beautiful? Also by color, like especially yellow flowers as well. But look at these, they're so gorgeous. They're really nice. I really love that garden, and more flowers on the way here, and our empire will be really a big garden of the peace. As we're gonna fuse Canada, United States, you could get the quoted. Read my transcripts. We're going to fuse the RCMP and the FBI into the CPS, Citizen Police Service, and CSIS and CIA into the Imperial Security Integrated Service, and Mass Finance Fitness, Mass Finance Intra-Tourism is going to be a mass public-private partnership. Some more branches, see? I always say watch it for the branches. Another one. Yeah, they fall from above. See, those ones are actually hanging on nothing. See there? They kind of hang on nothing with that, and it's something which we have, of course, now to correlate, but it's always in the proposition where we have, of course, in the domains where we correlate ourselves. So 178.9. Wow. See? So it was 170 last week ago, so it went up and down. It goes up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down, eh? Up and down, and on the left and on the right. Here is a more dangerous corner because of the added stress of the pedestrians and the added stress of going into the gas station and knowing that it's increased so much. Eh? A lot of citizens have sucked the wealth from a lot of citizens because we depend on gas. Myself, I ride these though. Auctioning them for $1 million, auctioning everything that I'm wearing for $1 million to give my anonymous friend half, and gotta salute the bakers, the butchers, the nurses, the doctors, firefighters, electricians, the welders, train conductors, and it felt good. And Sunday, I'm still sore, but less sore than this morning and less sore than yesterday, so I'm excited for movie night. Gonna go have a coffee and check my email, see if I got any response, because I've been applying to jobs and all the other emails in relation to my geopolitical work, super important. I predicted what's happening now, eh? In 2019, I have the proof. I even created a workout training program system, the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with such a scenario. And I got some chips. Well, I bought a bike for me, but I have to give my anonymous friend the money, I guess, because it was 2 for 10. I didn't buy any sweets. I said I'm gonna eat the halva, and yeah, look at this beautiful garden as well. We're gonna end it with the lioness, and end it here with the beautiful garden. So we are living in a garden.